Everybody, it is Thursday, January 26th, another Calgary Real Estate Show with some of us in Calgary, some of us not in Calgary. You never know. Jaden is the suspect here that may not be in Calgary. Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Jaden, thanks for doing this on your holiday. This is very kind of you.
No, I love meeting. You know what? I think it's great to be consistent. Love talking to everybody every week, and I just think what we say is important information, good for people to have an update on the market on a weekly basis.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. And sorry, you were going to say something before I rudely interrupted you.
No, I was just going to throw in your face that I'm enjoying the sunshine, and you guys are saying, we can leave
it is +7 in Calgary right now. We're not going to talk about what's going to happen on Sunday, but right now, today, it's awesome.
Yeah, Sunday is future market, Natalie Sproul.
That's a long way.
Exactly. So much to talk about today, guys. We have an interest rate hike. We had the Calgary Real Estate Board forecast on Tuesday. We got our weekly market stats, but let's just get going here. Lots to get through. Natalie's going to be talking. I gave a bit of a fake teaser because Natalie's actually going to be talking about landscape ideas and giving you some really great ideas and why you should be booking your landscaper now. Because trust me, when you want to get it done, they're never available. But she'll talk about that in a second. Here's our weekly update on the stats. Yeah, just kind of like we thought, there's the new listings and the solds basically at a dead heat at 99% sale to new listing ratio. So new listings down from 2 weeks, really from 2 weeks ago and last week. So we're back into the full swing of things here. The solds at 154. That's the highest they've been in 5 weeks. So I think we're starting to just those wheel. You know when the train is just getting going and those it's just like that's what's happening now in the market, I think. But days on market dropped a little to 41, 76 price reductions, and you see our active detached at 928, not including pendings, and our total active also not including pendings at 1955. So that means that all the segments are selling right now. So we'll go to the next slide. Yeah. So big drop off year over year. Again, this is just kind of a fun thing to look at. We don't really look at this and go, oh, well, the market's crashing. But, year over year, this is when things were about to go completely bonkers a year ago at this time, right? So not a surprise. But look at the new listings, right? Like we had 660 new listings. So we don't take either of these stats super seriously, but just for fun, although sales were way down, new listings are way down this year as well. Active listings, very similar, quite honestly. Pendings are down year over year. The median price, average price, and then days on market is identical. So next slide, please, Natalie. There's a lot of words on the page here. Essentially, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to try to do this in like 60 seconds or less. Jaden, so I mean, from your perspective too, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. So they are expecting, and this is from Anne-Marie Lurie, who's the chief economist from the Calgary Real Estate Board, when you see things in quotes. But elevated lending rates expected to weigh on sales in 2023. We're going to be down from our record high of 2022. But we're still going to be higher than pre-pandemic levels. Why is that? Because recent job growth, record high migration. We've been talking about record high migration for months now, and we're still relatively affordable when you compare us to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, and probably Ottawa, although I've not looked at Ottawa numbers recently. And then we're going to see supply levels. We've been talking about this too. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but we follow the stats every week and every month. We don't have supply, right? So what happens when you don't have supply and just a medium amount of buyers in the market puts upward pressure on prices. And then we'll go to the next slide just to kind of wrap this up here. And again, there's so much data. Book a coffee with Natalie and I, and we can bore you with all this information if you want. But this is just kind of an overview. This is really interesting because what they're saying is the shift between supply and sales by price range is expected to create divergent trends in prices. So what that means is, as we've been talking about for months now, 500 and under, 600 and under is crazy busy. It's a seller's market. It's multiple offers. It's over asking, things like that. We have a listing coming up here in Woodbine on February 10th is the launch date for that one. And although it's a bungalow, I still expect there to be a lot of activity. It's a beautifully renovated home. And then this final point here I find very, very interesting as well. So much of the pandemic's behind us. So we're going to be getting back to more typical conditions with a pause on I'm going to say big price gains. I certainly think there's got to be some price gains in 2023. If the inventory and the buyers continue the way they are, it's got to drive prices up again. We had 12% price growth in 2022. Now, here's what's interesting. Other markets in the country are forecasted to see more significant price and sales declines in 2023. Calgary did not face the same gains as those markets, as prices only recovered from the 2014 highs 2 years ago, right? So we didn't go as high as Toronto, as Vancouver. We didn't even recover from our 2014 highs till 2021. It took 7 years for that to recover to that point. So we're not expected to see the big price declines. Again, I have to think there's going to be some, especially if you're in the 700 range, your prices are going to be going up this year because there's no supply. So that's hopefully I got that done under 60 seconds. I didn't time myself, but all right. Jaden, I think it's over to you now.
Yeah, I would call that a long 60, but it's all good, Mark.
A long 3 minutes.
That's right. But yeah, so as Mark said, so what we're seeing is prices moving in different directions right now on the interest rate side.
Yeah.
Government of Canada, Bank of Canada, came back with another quarter point hike. Tiff Macklin, what he was talking about, this is the last one. Unless there's some crazy numbers and inflation pops way back up, this is the last one. But on the other side of that, the 5-year bond is starting to go down, and we're starting to see that 5-year fixed pricing go down as well. And there's a lot of market forces. Like, this is a busy day because there's a lot of things going on right now that I think are going to affect people's buying ability and pricing in the housing market, because so this is happening on the one side, but the other side, the OFC, which kind of overlooks the way that the banks handle mortgages and sets the rules and everything like that, has opened up. They're looking into some of the rules around mortgages, and I think they're going to have their consultation done until April, and then it's widely expected that there might be some rule changes, maybe around qualification and things like that are going to affect 5 to 10% of people probably this summer. What has happened in the past in that situation is that there was a huge run on buying because people are trying to get in before the change, right? And so we saw it with this January 1st change with new immigrants. A lot of those people who are on work permits put their offer in before January 1st to make sure that they could buy their house now. From a mortgage perspective, we think this is going to significantly impact the market in July and August, which July, as you guys know, is generally speaking a little bit slower in Calgary. We think that as people try and get a jump on this rule change that might affect them and maybe would push them into alternative lending or private lending because they don't qualify where they would like to in the kind of the prime space anymore, that it might push more people to buy houses quicker maybe than they were planning to do otherwise. So, those kind of rate hikes that everybody's talking about from your economist standpoint might be offset a little bit as well by policy and people trying to jump the gun on government changes.
Yeah, that'll be and you're totally right. We totally saw a run prior to Christmas. We've seen these runs prior to the new rules coming in. So that's super insightful, right? So best thing to do is talk to Jaden, find out where you sit, and that way he can get you into the right mortgage for you, and then get going with us, because I fully expect, like I've been saying, I fully expect it to be a very it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. We've helped a lot of buyers in the last year buy homes in a tough market for buyers, but you can't do it just by looking on realtor.ca. Right. You've got to have a real estate agent on your side that's looking at your search every day, like we do with our clients, and saying, Natalie, your cream puff home just hit the market. You got to go write an offer. I'm like, well, I'm not pre-approved yet. I'm like, well, dang, get talking to Jaden, right? But that's why we have this process in place for our buyers in particular, and obviously our sellers too, but for our buyers so that when that house hits the market, we go look at it that day and you write an offer. And you know that it's your house just because of all the things we've eliminated through the whole process. So sorry, I had to get on my soapbox there, but that's great information, Jaden, because I did not know about, obviously, and that's why we have you here, about that OFC potential qualification changes coming later in 2023.
Yeah, always happy. And honestly, the problem with this, I'll let you get going, Natalie. But
no, it's all good.
Because everything else, we don't know what it's going to be until they actually put it in. And so April, we'll probably have a better idea.
Right.
It could also be just like this foreign buyers ban that we find out 10 days before they put it into place. So let's just make sure that we're on top of things. And like you say, get pre-approved and be able to make decisions quickly.
Yes, exactly. Well, you know, Jaden, I was going to say, Natalie, just like she is in this house, she's in control. She's got the slides, so she can do whatever she wants.
Right. Just skip right. If I talk too long, you just skip on to the next slide and start talking, Natalie.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like a vaudeville show. You know, I come out with the cane and pull you off. All good. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears here. We're talking landscape ideas. I was originally going to do something else, which Mark knows, and I didn't tell him. I just sort of thought with the cold weather coming, we're all looking forward to spring, but you need to start planning for things, obviously, because we have such a short window that people can actually do all of these ideas in their backyard. So, okay, so the first one, some of the trends we're looking at are the vertical garden beds. I love these so much. They look so good. They make the space look very alive, but it's also great for small spaces. So if you don't have a big deck, you don't have a big yard, you can still have that full garden idea. You could put, you could do vegetables in there if you really wanted to, but plants or herbs or whatever. And it's just a really beneficial thing to have. The next one, I love this one too, is the sunken hot tub. And I just thought this was such a neat idea. It just makes it look like a pool. It's very spa-like, all that kind of stuff. But again, if you're going to do something like this, you need to get on it fairly quickly. So
yeah, and if I can just add in here real quick. So I spent a little time in the hot tub industry way back when. And so what we'd call that is a vault. So that's what you're looking at there is a super custom installation, but you can also do it if you've got the deck height to build some deck around the hot tub, and it's called a hot tub vault. And what you want to make sure of is that you still have access to the equipment so that you can service it if needed. But they are absolutely fantastic. Makes it more of a cohesive space, not just a hot tub kind of plunked in your yard.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the next one is an outdoor bar. I love this area. I love everything. It's apparently you all see that, but this is such a nice way just to sort of, again, bringing the inside out. And it just, it's a functional space. You can, whether you have a sink in there or not, whatever. It's a good place to keep all your barbecue tools, all that kind of stuff. And it's just a fun little hangout space. This one, Mark, I saw this and I thought of you, and I thought I'd never do off of that in the summertime. Everybody loves a hammock, but this was just a really cool idea. If you have sort of a retaining wall to sort of build it in between raised beds, it's just a fun, nice, like a cool use of space. So, and this is the last one, is creating an outdoor living area. And this, again, you have the retaining wall. It's just building it all in so it's cohesive. So whoopsie. So they've taken advantage of having that wall space and building it. It's going to be a little more or a little less expensive, actually, furniture wise, but you're just building a base and then just throwing the cushions out there. You got your fire table, you've got your dining area, and having that pergola over top is just it's a nice shaded area when you want it, and you can put the pretty lights up, and that's all I've got for today.
Yeah, I love a good pergola. Our friends down in Cranston have fantastic pergola. They're south facing, and so they need some shade, and they have these cool they almost look like sails. We just love hanging out on their deck with the pergola and all that kind of stuff. So a few new events here coming up. So obviously the RV Expo and Sale, it's not a community event per se, but it's a great time. Again, if you're pre-planning for summer camping season, Natalie and I are heading down right after we're done this. We're going to have a YouTube video on some top travel trailers and we've owned a few different types. So we're going to be able to give you some perspective, right? So that's coming up on the YouTube channel in 2 weeks from now. So by the time everything gets edited and all the magic happens behind the scenes, Curry's light the night. So, you know, you thought Christmas was over, and for some people, Christmas is still going on. I'm not going to mention any names, but not you, Jaden. But so this is like lanterns, and this is in the community of Curry, which is like Curry Barracks. This is what I would call it. Natalie, you've been to one of these National Geographic Lives.
Yes, it was fantastic. Totally worth it. We actually were, he's a photographer. He was originally from the Yukon or Northwest Territories or something, and he specializes in polar bears. And he's been all over the world doing his photography. It's crazy, this stuff. And it's just fun to see the stories come out of it. So I highly recommend.
Yeah, and this is Amy Vital. She shares, I think there was maybe giraffe. Anyway, I think it'll be absolutely stunning. And then if you're into motorsports and you've heard of Travis Pastrana, who did Nitro Circus, he jumped Caesar's Palace fountains a couple of years ago. So there's Nitro Rallycross. So I guess this is outdoors. So just be prepared for that. But it's like stuff on ice, on snow. I think it could be some epic fails, as we like to say. But that's some stuff. Now, this is just a snippet. So if you want a really good Global Calgary, this is where some of this came from. So they have fantastic community events page. So go check out Global Calgary. So you check out more community events. I mean, there's everything from, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. But anyway, check them out. The full list with links in there. And then you can check out all that stuff. But we are headed off to the RV show. And then coming up, we post the video, the top renovation ideas from the Calgary Reno show. Next week on the YouTube channel is going to be our house. So we're actually going to be rolling you through some of the updates we've done to our house. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to get notified, obviously and then hit that notification bell. So thanks for watching. Either live or later on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and all the places that this goes. So Jaden, you got to get back to the pool. Go hang out with your family and your friends and your kids and have an amazing time down there.
Enjoy
Natalie
it.
and I, yeah. So
enjoy the RV show.
Yes,
yeah, we'll do. Yes. And how's the weather's been good?
Weather is great. Kids are loving it. Getting all the family together that we haven't seen for years. It's just been. I'm not a resort guy. It's not who I am, but for a big family gathering, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah.
How many of you were there altogether?
12, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so great. Great. Yeah.
Well,
and Mexico weather at this time of year is never a bad thing, even though we are +7 today. But
you're not running around in Speedos here, though.
Oh, well, I don't want to. I won't stand up until you guys we're logged off. You don't have to know. You never know.
All right, guys, you have a great week there, Jaden, and we're off to the RV show. We'll talk to everyone in 7 days.
Hey, guys.